Hey guys, it's Ocean Breezer 325 here, bringing you World of Warships California gameplay here. Before I begin the video, it was by no means a high damage game, but this game, I uploaded this because this shows how important team play is, especially at the end of games when 3 versus 4 players, you need to communicate with most of your teammates, and that's exactly what me and the Leon did. You'll guys see towards the end of the battle. So anyway, I spawn here on the A side. So we are playing with 4 destroyers on each team. We have no cruisers, and they have 1 cruiser, which is spawned on the A side. So I'm running AP currently, but I soon find out that I should go back to HE, and I find out after I shoot at the Pensacola. But anyway, my 2 destroyers that spawn here at A will go forward as I look at the minimap to see if any of my friends are in this game. Um, 1 destroyer already says to go to B. I don't respond. I'm going to defend these 2 destroyers with my life, as everybody else kind of goes to B and C. So anyway, this Benham goes straight ahead while the Moss stays slightly behind the Benham, which is gonna let him survive for a longer time. By the way, my build for the California is Williamson's at tier 11, ranked 11, and legendary tier 1. And Williamson's adds a bonus 250 HP per tier. So at tier 5, you get around 1,500 HP. Currently at the level he's on, he grants 240. At max level, he grants around 350. So we would have a much tankier California here. Anyway, the Dunkirk gets spotted. He's going to slam himself into that mountain, so I don't take the shot yet. I hold, and he gets unspotted. And again, he gets spotted again, but he's still behind the mountain. Right there, we see the Benham. So right now, I'm thinking about that HE switch. I'm like, should I switch to HE? And I spot the Pensacola. I take a shot, and I was salivating. I thought this guy was gonna be gone, and we just miss him. So immediately I switch back to HE to prepare to fight that Benham in the back. So I'm ready to fight him. And the HE on the California is surprisingly really good. I did find that out because I used the HE for most of the match since there are 4 destroyers and I wanted to be prepared at all times. The HE on this California is pretty good. So anyway, I still look at the Dunkirk as I have no idea what the heck that guy's doing. So our Benham pushes into the other Benham smoke screen as he launched all his torpedoes. Again, I see if I can take a shot at the Dunkirk, and I do inevitably take a shot. And this is where I find out the HE is good. We get 4 penetrations with HE on the Dunkirk's flat broadside. Obviously, our Benham died to the other Benham, so now that leaves the job to me to kill him, or else this cap and side will fall, and the rest of the team, without me holding this space, we would inevitably lose. So the Benham decides to do the only thing that he can, right, in a destroyer, which is YOLO Torp. And this is something you never want to do. Obviously, he's getting shot by everybody, and I take him out. That's exactly why HE is the best. So again, I continue looking. The Pensacola goes behind the mountain. I try to tell my teammates to focus fire on him because he is the biggest threat to my other destroyer, which is the Moss, who will join me later on in this cap. Takes out my turret. I don't bother fixing it. In fact, I end up turning to bow tank this Dunkirk. It's a bow and bow fight. He has 8 guns. I have 6 guns on a bow fight. And my first shot, I miss. Then I get my allied destroyer. I believe this is the Fubuki here that also dies on this side of the cap. I tell everybody to focus on the Dunkirk, and he's on fire. And the Dunkirk secondaries open up on the Fubuki, and I get 5 penetrations on the Dunkirk's bow armor. So my HE is pretty good. right here. I believe this is going to finish him off. It doesn't. It leaves him with such low health. And say what? He's not dead? And I take my last shot. And he's dead. With one penetration, the Dunkirk is gone. So I'm thinking that's pretty much it for my side. I'm done. I got rid of the entire team besides the Pensacola. And the Pensacola goes behind the other mountain as I attempt to take a shot. Again, still with HE, as I'm still prepared for the destroyers to come from B to my cap. And we end up waiting, and I take these shots right now. And surprisingly, I do hit the Pensacola a couple times. I hit him for 2 penetrations. So far we've got 2 kills and 21,000 damage. Again, this is not going to be a high damage game, but this just shows you exactly how team play works and how important it is. So, out of my shock and surprises, we have 2 Colorados here that come seemingly out of nowhere, and as I'm looking, I see that Cap B is being flipped. I know I shouldn't turn right now, and I don't. And the Colorado's actually also HE spamming me. But that changes to AP, and I absolutely get lit up, and it's pretty close to death. So I take my shot with HE, and I get 2 penetrations. So the California's HE can really do the job. So again, here I just decide whether I should go to B or should I turn out to defend here. So I inevitably make the decision to turn out to B. And this is when I get absolutely lit up. Right now I just see the ocean full of torpedoes against that Colorado, as it almost looks like he has nothing. So this Dunkirk all the way by B asks for my support. I deny him support because right now I'm defending my 2 destroyers, which is more important than the Dunkirk. Although if I did inevitably go to save the Dunkirk, that would have helped us in the last couple minutes of the match, which we'll get to obviously later. Pensacola comes out, so I decided to take him on, and my guns 3 seconds, and I take my shot. And for some odd reason, I cannot kill him, and this is when I get absolutely lit up by the Colorado, as I did not see the terrible angle I was posing, and I get citadeled. I'm at 7,375 HP. The mass finishes him off with his guns, so I immediately start to turn to battle tank him. I get HE spammed, luckily not AP, and AP salvo there could kill me. So the Colorado starts to fire, I immediately put it out. So now I'm battle tanking both of these Colorados, and now I'm at 1,359 HP. So right now I'm thinking I'm gonna die, so I get my last salvo off on the Colorado that's effectively dead. And he gone! And I get another fire. So that's 3 kills. And this is when it gets scary. We have a fire, and you see our HP slowly going up and down because I had to activate one of my heals to make sure that I didn't die. Here I switch back to AP because I'm ready for the broadside Colorado to absolutely punish him, but the mass does the job for me, which inevitably does pretty much save me, because if that Colorado got a shot off of me, I would be gone. So you see damage control was on cooldown, but the fire's still burning. 16 seconds left. I'm out of heals. I've been spotted, but I don't really see the threat right now. I'm honestly kind of happy that I'm still going to live in this match. I don't see how I can die with the fire, and I survive with 581 HP. And this is when the team play comes in. I believe this is the moment when the Leon tells me that I'm basically just artillery cannon, that I shouldn't risk dying. Exactly right there. That's the Leon, who's an Xbox player. Don't know him, but you should definitely play with him. He's a very nice guy. Anyway, he basically says that I should be careful because I'm basically a flat cannon. So
let me take the hits to try and get those enemy destroyers out of
and he's basically telling me that I have full health and I will take those torpedoes for you. You're just gonna supply fire support. So also, this is me not remembering what abilities I picked. Remember that I picked, for my legendary ability, I picked Will to Rebuild, which is super important in these situations because there is no way I would have went up against 3 destroyers and a battleship with 581 HP. Obviously, it does help I got an extra heal, so I popped that up. So now I'm at a more comfortable, as far as fighting destroyers, HP of around 8,000. So we're at 8,906 HP. I tell the Dunkirk to finish off the P. Frederick, who is still alive. As a matter of fact, that Dunkirk did an amazing job at holding our flank there at C. Inevitably, he takes down the P. Frederick, and unfortunately, he goes down to the other destroyers at Cap C. But he did his job because if he fell before he could destroy the P.E. Frederick, or really fell instantly, if his whole entire task force at sea fell, we would be at a huge disadvantage because they'd be on the offensive and we'd be on the defensive. Here I decided to take some random shots here at the Fubuki. The Fubuki does the right thing to halt, and I miss my shots. So our mass is flipping B, which is very important, as right now we're pretty low on score. And I didn't even realize this, but I looked down to my screen and it says will to rebuild, and I suddenly have 12,176 HP, and I'm absolutely shocked that just happened. So I go over and get my mic and tell the guy that if you stick around me within my abilities range, I have will to rebuild, so I will survive. Exactly, I tell him right now. And he says
Hey,
he will
Leon,
do
I
what
have
he
will to
can.
rebuild, so if you stay within the ability, within my ability range, I can actually stay at 12,000 HP, and I can do a lot more than just sit around.
And then he responds back saying, obviously, I will do whatever I
Good, I'll
can.
do what I can here. I managed to get some hits on that Akatsuki, believe it or not.
When he fired over the mountain, so again, very nice guy. Obviously, most people in World of Warships are toxic, but very nice guy. He approached me saying, he started the conversation by saying, "You're just a gun platform. Obviously, you're not trying to get in too much danger at 505 HP." But now I'm at a very comfortable 12,179 HP. But obviously, my primary threat is that Japanese torps do about that much damage. Obviously, I do have a torpedo belt that's amazing. Obviously here, I see I'm going past him, so I slow down. And this is when the Leon absolutely gets torped here. My friend gets hit after hit of torpedoes. Luckily he had full health, so that's good. And then we get the Akatsuki spotted, which is definitely one of the biggest threats out of the destroyers that were left. So I immediately start turning in, and again, more torpedoes out of that Akatsuki. And they're coming straight for that Leon. Again, if that Akatsuki had any idea what he was doing, he would torp me, because he would realize that if he killed me, he basically assures himself a win of the match, even if he dies. He doesn't. I take my HE shot, and I'm trying for the 4th frag, and the Leon steals it straight from me. This is another scary sight to see. These torpedoes.
Run out here.
Yeah, and he mentions how many torpedoes are out here, and he also mentions that he is flooding to death. Luckily, he has enough HP and a damage control that reloads pretty quick enough in French battleships that he's able to stay in this match, because if he died, we would have lost the match. And I realized that, so I tell the mass to defend him, because if he dies, the match is over. So then I mention that to him and say that me and you have to just stay alive in this match, and that we should kind of slowly back off. And then he yells at this mass because,
if you don't get out in spot, we got no prayer.
Yeah, because if the mass doesn't go out in spot, we can't find the other destroyers. So that's going to be a huge problem, because then if he goes over there and spots, we can see torpedoes before they hit us, and we can easily dodge them. But if we're out here leading the initiative, it's going to be absolutely impossible to detect torpedoes in time to turn. And this is when I mentioned to him that we are winning my points, but if you die, we're probably going to lose the match, because battleship points are worth a lot. And also, this is when the mass capturing B was super important, because that allows us to get a lot more points and gain a much bigger lead. Which technically means by the end of the match, me or the Leon could have died, and we still would have won by over 10 points. So right now we're just kind of aimlessly sitting. I tell the mouse to go to B, and the torps miss because I turned. Again, things happen for a reason, but that is absolutely hilarious that I turned and I missed the torps. I put up my spotter plane hoping I can spot something. Obviously I don't have the spotting aircraft, I just have the spotting plane for accuracy, since the California doesn't have good accuracy. Again, this was by no means a fantastic game, only 27,000 damage dealt. That is nowhere near good, but this game here is to show how team play is valued more than self-play here in World of Warships, and why you should be more nice and less toxic to people in this game, because again, I'm just super glad I came across
Hey,
this
good
guy.
job, Leon. Good team play, guys.
Yep, and again I mentioned that to the Leon. I say good team play,
Good game.
good game, and we go ahead and end the battle with nearly 27,000 damage dealt, 3 frags, and about 3 fires. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Thank you guys for riding the waves with Ocean Breezer.